morning, everyone. Welcome to our, sorry, having a little technical problem here. Welcome to our Tuesday morning trading room. Can I just get a sound check to make sure that the sound is coming through okay? Anybody? Can anybody hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. For some reason, the audio on my side. Okay, well, whatever. Let's bring over the daily chart. Kind of give us our perspective of what's going on here. This was yesterday's session. Another bullish day, even though you can see we did a little seesaw back and forth. The market closing off here just above 7,500. And here we are opening near 7,600. So we have a little bit of a downside gap. You can't see it because this bar will include the overnight session. Volume picking up maybe a little. The buyers definitely making a stand. So it looks like we're going to try to challenge some of these highs around here. Probably get knocked back down a little bit to around 7,300. That's going to be the decision point for the buyers. Although I suspect we're going to see the market develop into a larger sideways trading range. That's just my thinking on it. All right. Well, we had a couple of decent signals here to start the day already. Here on the Eagle, let's see, your first in-sync signal occurred right here. It looks like right on the opening buzzer. And that one getting up to its high probability target. So there you go. You could be 5 minutes into the day, not even, and already have your first profitable trade. Actually, you could be done already. The Hawk also here with its first micro macro cross signal on the opening buzzer. Also profitable. The Falcon Swing Trader. Let's see, yep, same thing. Opening buzzer, get the signal. That would be your, actually just your in-sync signal. The trend change signal occurred a little bit here before the market opening. And of course, the Raptor, the number 3 signal printing pre-market, but here off of the opening buzzer, we also get our first in-sync signal, and that one also working out very nicely for us. Hooray for us. We're going to let it bounce around here a little bit. Okay, well, we're getting a hard edge bounce. It's funny that we should lose that upside momentum so early. Not like the last few days, the market continuing the overnight. But you can see here that we're moderately bullish, and yet the Bollinger's getting quite bearish. Ooh, there we go. Look at that tail off really quickly. Maybe we're going to try to get into that gap. Falcon's going to come here with a trend change signal. The Eagle, well, that's going to remain bullish. You could produce an early number one signal here on the Raptor. It's actually not going to print as a number one. Oh, jeepers, that thing ran away on me. Okay, let's hopefully we get enough follow through here to get to our profit target. We entered, or had I entered on the hash mark, which is what I wanted. All right, there we go. Get the trade now to break even. Kissing the profit target. Come on, you guys. Oh, you stinkers. So what I wanted is I wanted this early number one signal to develop, and I'll short it again here off of this natural number one. Get my stops out of the way here. Oh, maybe I got a little bit too aggressive on that. We're swinging back here to the hard edge. The market retesting the first swing. Okay, so I can bring my stops in a little bit at this point. And I'll get ready with the break even again. There we go. That's close enough. Come on. You can do it. Don't flinch off the primary. There we go. Whew. That was hard work. So the market unwinds rather quickly to the downside after struggling to continue higher. You see, we got our little test of the extreme up here. The market starts to come down quickly, produce the early number one signal, which I tried to take advantage of. Then we came back with the natural number one signal. This is another situation where we have trend and pause. So there's no way at this point I should be looking at a buy signal. I'm looking for the market to emerge from this consolidation slash pullback slash hesitation to go with trend again. And we actually, it looks like we were a tick or two short of producing a number three signal, but essentially that's what this is, a hard edge bounce, a continuation signal, and you can see we had, again, very decent follow through. You might even consider this now to be a retest of this little breakout that occurred. From, you may say this is a little sideways range. This now is the retest. And you could treat it the same way that we do our Eagle orders. You could put your just in case order to sell down here. Oh, and you could do your just in case order to buy up here. Now, when you try to bracket these kinds of things on the Raptor, you're going to want to see at least a couple 3 bars move against the position. Because the Raptor prints bars more frequently than the Eagle, you don't want to do it on one. Certainly you don't want to do it on 1 bar or even on 2. But we do have the market in a bit of a bind at this point. And if you wanted, you could just choose to wait it out, set your profit target. Set your profit target here. All right, well, we got filled to the long side. So we'll cancel that profit order and get ready with our stops again. See if we get any follow through now. We're in sync with the Bollingers, which is nice. This is essentially an early #1 signal. It may end up printing as a #2 signal because technically it's counter trend. All right, I'll take it to break even and come on, push on. There you go. $73.5. There was a little slippage there. Oh. All right, well, they backed up and tapped me at the break even. But I do suspect that they're going to get up here to what would have been our profit target. Jeff making a great suggestion. I love the suggestion here. Jeff's asking, good morning, Eric. For a Rabbit Hole Friday topic, maybe you could talk about trading the micros and the different strategies you could use due to the small tick size of the instruments. Here's the thing with the micros. We can actually address it right now because it's a fantastic question. Hold on a second here. Let's get the okay. Here's the micro E-mini, and I've got just the standard settings on it. I haven't adjusted any of the settings. The micro is great because it allows you more flexibility in stop placement. So for instance, you can see if I were to buy this signal, which is almost a hard edge bounce signal, I could buy in with 6 contracts and still maintain my $250 risk. So what that does is it gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of how you want to deal with the trade. You can take 3 contracts on your first target, 2 contracts on your second target, and leave a runner in case the market explodes to the upside. The problem with trading the full-size contract, or with trading singles in general, is that you always have that awkward decision. Do I take profit on target, or do I try to leave the trade on for a runner? what you need to recognize with that awkward decision is that 3/4 of the time the market is going to be trading in some sort of sideways fashion, and only 25% of the time, roughly once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, will the market put in a very strong rally day. It is my opinion that by and large, if you are a small trader, you will do better taking all your profit on target. I think at the end of the day, when the dust settles, you'll find that overall your profits will be healthier if you have taken profit on target versus trying to run one out, or trying to run that single contract out. Now, here's the thing with the other thing with the micros. Okay, so the upside is they offer you a lot of flexibility in your position sizing. Here's the downside. If you, let's say you wanted to just trade a single. Okay, so there's your single, there's your risk. You got a little over $40 at risk, which is great. Your profit target, you may make 25 or 30 bucks. Have you ever been to Vegas and tried to play blackjack or one of the table games? And if you're like most tourists, you're just a hobby gambler. You just go for the good time, you go for the ambiance, you go for to say that, hey, I've been to Vegas and I played blackjack. So you tend to gravitate toward the $2 table. Right? Those are getting hard to find, by the way. You may have to go to the $5 table. We went to Vegas one year with our family, and our daughter, she's got a bit of a gambling streak. And I don't fancy myself much of a card player. I prefer to play craps, but we go to the blackjack table and I want to go to the $2 table. And she says, no, you're wasting your time at the $2 table. So we go to the $25 table. Now, $25, you're risking, well, minimum one chip. You're risking minimum $25 a hand. She's playing 2 and 3 chips a hand. And I'm thinking this is reckless of her. But she said, and this makes perfect sense, and it applies perfectly to the micro situation. She says, the only way you can make money playing cards is if you gamble. Now, what she meant by gamble is you have to gamble. You have to put something at risk if you're going to get the reward. And in short order, she was up over $800. She was pushing near $1,000 in winnings. How long do you think you would have to play the $2 table to get $1,000 in winnings? Probably a pretty long time. I don't think she was playing blackjack for more than a half an hour, if that. It was because, time stands still in the casino. She was probably playing 20 minutes and she was up over $800 already. So that's the problem, I think, with the micros. If you're going to risk your regular 2% or 2.5% of your capital, sorry, drew a blank there, then by all means, go ahead. The brokers are offering all kinds of deal cuts on the commissions. I think you'll probably find the commissions balance out to be pretty much the same they would with the full-size contract, but it's something worth investigating. Are you going to be dinged more trading 5 and 6 lots than you would be trading a single? But if you're looking at the micros as a means to make it easier to manage your position, then yes, by all means, look at the micros. If you're looking at the micros as a means to trade one or two contracts to try to make more money, like my Vegas example, my little Vegas story, I don't think it's going to work for you. The only way you can trade the micros with one or two contracts and try to make a lot of money is not to day trade them. Rather, or pardon me, not to day trade them, rather to position trade them. So that means you're going to be looking at, well, maybe taking, what are we? Here we are. Here's our first signal. You're going to take this signal right here, this buy signal, and you're going to run a stop probably, let's see, I don't have a daily E-mini chart here, so I'm scrambling a little bit. Probably here below yesterday's low. So you're going to take your first signal. Let's throw a line down here so I don't forget where it is. So you're going to take this signal right here, this buy signal, and you're going to run a stop at least below yesterday's low. On the daily chart, I realize this is the NASDAQ, but it'll be the rough equivalent. You're going to be down here. That's what the micro will allow you to do. It will allow you to run abnormally deep stops, something you could never afford if you were doing your regular position sizing. And because you're running an abnormally deep stop, you're going to be looking at an abnormally large profit objective. So you're probably, to make your $400, you're probably going to be looking for the market to trade maybe to 29.50. Oh, well, maybe even not that high. I'm trying to eyeball where you might make about the equivalent amount. Yeah, somewhere around there. So somewhere around 29.30, 29.35 would be your profit objective. Will the market reach that today? Well, it's within the realm of possibility, sure. But that's the downside to the micros, is people hover around the micros thinking, ooh, look, I can trade for 40 bucks. Yeah, you can, but you're not going to make any money trading for $40, unfortunately. Not unless you have the longer term perspective. That's the workaround. But day trading, I'm afraid that they're just going to churn you out. So the micros, I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but you have to wonder, why are they introducing the micros? What's wrong with the mini contract? The NASDAQ's only $5. The mini Dow's $5. It's not like we're shelling out for the full size contract. Well, Ron makes an excellent point here. Ron says they are good practice, and you're right. That is one thing I forgot. The micros make an excellent training ground because now you're risking real money. And some people have a hard time with paper trading because it's not quite the same, right? A lot of people end up paper trading and they end up treating it like it's a video game. And that's a little bit dangerous. At least with the micros, you are trading real money. You will get that adrenaline fear thing going on when the market is peeling against you, even though it is only 40 bucks or 50 bucks. It's still a little uncomfortable. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. I did forget about that. And that is a valid point. I don't want that to be understated. That is a valid reason for trading the micros. But if you're looking to make money, you can see here on the NASDAQ today, we took we took a couple trades, a couple break evens and one profitable one. So I made my 3 trades. I'm up a little over $100, say $100 less the commissions and fees. And that's on a single contract. And like I try to tell you every morning, the real money is in trading the multiples, not in chasing around a bunch of different signals. So that $100 could easily be $500 if my account was large enough to trade 5 contracts. And you say, well, gee, Eric, that's great. My account isn't big enough to trade 5 contracts. Yeah, but what you forget is that $100, if we can do it day in and day out, which we do most days, translates to, and we're not going to allow for losses or anything at this point. We're just going to say, okay, we made $100 a day. There's 200 trading days a year. That's $20,000 in profit. So you can take, let's say you're starting with a $5,000 account. You have to be ultra conservative. So maybe you want to start with the micros, build up your confidence. Like Ron says, the good way to build your confidence, good practice ground. So start on the micros, build up your confidence a little bit. If you manage to turn that 5,000 into 6,000, then migrate to the mini contract. And, in a year's time, if you continue to be profitable, you've now turned that $6,000 hopefully into 25 or 26,000. Do that for another year. Now you're trading a $40,000 to $50,000 account. Okay, well now you're in a position within 2 years' time. Now you're in a position that you can actually start to trade size. And Mark's not in the room this morning, but he will be the first to tell you that's what he did. And I know I pick on Mark a lot in this respect, and I don't think he minds, but I had the opportunity to talk to him, and he told me that he dwindled his account all the way down to $3,000 before he finally got it. He finally got it. You don't chase the signals around. You don't trade a bunch of times. And to Mark's credit, what he did is he picked a signal and he went back and he looked at his signals over and over and over again until he had the confidence to take the signal, to recognize the best setup, and he turned his last $3,000 into within 3 years. This wasn't overnight. It took him 3 years of taking profit on target, being very selective about your signal, having the confidence to take it. He built it up to a point where now he's trading 5 and 6 contracts at a time. And he'll routinely make 4 figures in a day. And he hasn't changed the way he trades. He hasn't changed his discipline. And this is very important. Most people don't have the fortitude to do that kind of stuff. You know, most people, and it's not that he's never had a losing trade or even losing days for that matter, but over the long haul, you come out on top. And this is what a lot of people forget. This is trading. We're trying to figure out what the market will do next. This isn't like going out to the factory and punching out widgets. If you want to be guaranteed to get paid, go get a job. Trading is much more difficult, but incredibly rewarding when you get a handle on it. So, you know, don't treat it like a game, treat it seriously. Study. I can show you what I know, but I can't, I can't trade for you. I can tell you, you know, well, the first micro macro cross signal on the hawk works over 80% of the time. It's a good signal to take. It's a signal that I will take almost blindly. But until you convince yourself of that fact, you will not trust the first micro macro cross signal. And the first time you take a loser, or the first couple losers you take with that, you'll say, oh, Eric, he's talking through his hat. I'm going to go figure out the best settings for my stochastics indicator. Or I'm going to buy this fancy new software thing that Barchart emailed me about, or whatever. You'll be chasing your tail. Every time, here's a little fun fact for you. Think about this. Every time you change what you're doing, you're starting over. Every time you add a different indicator, every time you add a different market, every time whatever, you're starting over. But I'm glad Jeff asked the question, because I've had a few people ask me about the E-minis or the micro minis, and I'm sorry if you've written me. I just have not had a chance to respond. I've been overwhelmed here recently with stuff, but that's the gist of it. And like I said, the best example I could think of was my Vegas story. Okay, we're going to make another little pop up here. And you can see we've already generated the number one signal here on the Raptor. And because we're trading near the top end, I'm going to try it. So you see we're kind of testing the top end here. It's with trend. Let's get the chart trader back here. Let's get ready with our stops. Get those stops up near break even. There we go. We're about 3/4 of the way there. Come on. I often wonder too, when things get promoted too heavily, I'm getting a lot of emails about the micros, and I'm wondering, why are they promoting these so hard? I'm pretty sure they're not doing it for my benefit. Okay, so all this was your basic with trend signal. With trend from the broader perspective, I suppose. The broader daily. Let's re-challenge the highs here. You can see we kind of near the top end of the trading range. So if this was our trading range, we broke lower, it didn't stick. Broke higher, well, I guess that didn't really stick either, but then we came back. with trend, basing the trend now on the trading band. All right, well, if my trading day was not done before, it is certainly done or would be done now. And speaking of trading days being done, I have meetings the rest of this week, so I'm afraid we're going to be shutting down the trading room early for the remainder of the week. Wow, and another big pushback. So they're all over the map here this morning. You know, I think if you're looking to limit your risk, you might do better looking at the Forex markets. Here's a Euro US dollar pair. And what, oh, I was going to feature the Arun indicator, so I'm playing with it here. But you can see we've got a little bit more in terms of follow through. And you can, again, restrict your position size a little easier. So there's an option for you as well, is going over to the dark side and trading the Forex markets. All right, well, they can't seem to make up their mind what's going on now. We've made a bit of a push to the short side. You could set up your second push opportunity on this #1 signal. It hasn't drifted all that far. If it heads lower here, you could look to short below this swing low right here. Well, although look at our Bollingers. Bollinger's getting very bullish. Maybe I'll avoid that. Trading, I suppose, at the end of the day is as much about observation as anything. You know, you want to recognize or learn to recognize those situations that are hopefully going to be the most profitable for you. Ron's asking, what was the symbol for the Forex I was looking at? That was the Euro US dollar pair. So EUR/USD. It's the same as the 6E The big ones, I guess the big four would be the Euro US dollar pair. I'm tempted to short that signal right there. All right, I'm going to give it a go. So you have your EUR/USD pair. You have your Japanese US dollar pair. So that would be JPY USD. Same as the 6J, which is the futures equivalent. Yay! So this was essentially a hard edge bounce. You can see we must have missed it by a tick because it did not print as a hard edge bounce, but that is what it was. The other two are okay. Let's see. It did the euro, did the yen, the British pound. So that's the 6B. The forex symbol would be GBP USD. Actually, I said there were big four, didn't I? Those are big three, I suppose. The euro, the yen, and the British pound. You could also do the euro yen, although that's a little bit more stable. That would be the EUR JPY. If you're going to watch the Forex, it's a good idea to watch the futures equivalent as well, because you get some information out of the futures charts that you don't get on your Forex charts. A lot of people don't know that. Okay, getting another little pullback here. Yes. Jeff says it should be a great week for golf in the Pacific Northwest. I'm seeing temperatures in the low 80s. Yeah, that's hot for us. Everybody will be running around complaining. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a dry winter, so everybody's fretting about the forest fires and water levels in the rivers. But yes, it will be good golfing weather. And with a little bit of luck, I will do my fair share. All right, gang, I hate to cut things short, but like I said, I've got to run, catch a ferry. So if you're going to hang out the rest of the day, well, overall, the market's bullish, right? If you look at your daily, there's no denying the market trend is still up, even though we're churning over the same numbers here this morning. We made a couple interesting swings, but by and large, we haven't gone anywhere. So you could treat all this as a gigantic trading range and look for the breakout and the retest to occur. That's one thing you could do. You could look at the short-term range, where short-term we're bearish, so you could try another selling opportunity, but I wouldn't count the buyers out just yet. So maybe keep a lookout for another move higher. Falcon and Hawk already bullish, Raptor and Eagle a little bearish. Those types of setups, the market's always conflicted, so be careful and try to get your profit on target if you can. All right, I will talk at you tomorrow then. We'll see you then. Bye for now.